Welcome back, I'm Rahana. We're playing more Gakuen Heaven 2. This is a direct continuation of last video where Chiba and Yuki have met up on Sunday. They're having ramen together, and Yuki has decided he's going to ask Chiba about his relationship with Joker. And since this is kind of a long scene, I decided to cut it here, and we'll continue with his answer. So this is just the very beginning, and I'll play this line again.
で、千葉さんといえばジョーカーさん。
So, speaking of Joker-san,
千葉さんのことが分かりたいんだったら、まずはジョーカーさんとのことを知らないとなと思って。
if I want to know about you, I think I need to know about Joker-san first. And Yuki's explanation for this was, in order to have good teamwork in the Bell One, he feels like he needs to know Chiba a little better, so he's going to get some information. And since the thing that stands out the most about Chiba is that he works for Joker, lets Joker kind of push him around and tease him a lot, and is still very respectful of him, Yuki figures, okay, he needs to understand that relationship to understand Chiba more, which makes sense.
だって、千葉さんはジョーカーさんのことを一番に考えてますよね。
Well, you always put Joker-san first, don't you?
当然だ。
Naturally.
どうしてそんなに好きなんですか？
Why do you like him so much?
好き？
Like.
好きなんでしょ？ジョーカーさん。
You like him, don't you?
違う。
No.
そんな好きなどという感情ではない。
It's not a feeling that you would call liking.
それじゃあ何なんですか？
Then what is it?
尊敬だ。
Respect.
尊敬？
Respect.
あの方は恐怖を感じない。
He feels no fear.
まさか。
No way.
本当だ。勝負をして分かった。
It's true. I found out when I challenged him.
勝負したんですか？千葉さんがジョーカーさんと？
You challenged him? You and Joker-san?
あ、
Yeah.
いつ？
When?
去年の今頃だ。
About this time last year. And I don't know if you've noticed, but to keep the conversation going, Yuki's asking a lot of questions. He's doing a lot of repeating because even though Chiba does talk quite a bit in this scene, he's pretty reluctant to volunteer information. I'm sure everybody knows someone like that, where you try to ask them questions and they give you kind of the bare minimum answer, and you have to go pulling for more information. Chiba is like that. So about this time last year,
入学してすぐってことか。
which means it was right after coming to school.
そうだな。
That's right.
それまでずっと自分は強いと信じてきた。
Until then, I'd always believed myself was strong.
だが、あの方にそれがただの思い上がりだと思い知らされた。
But he made me realize that it was just arrogance.
そう。あの時、
That time,
死を目の前にし、自分はおじけづいた。足がすくみ、平常心を失った。
in the face of death, I realized myself was afraid. My legs froze and I lost my composure.
だが、ジョーカー様は全く動じてらっしゃらなかった。
But Joker-sama wasn't phased at all.
あの方は死の恐怖すら超越した遥か高みに位置している。
He transcended even the fear of death and was far above me.
本当に素晴らしい方だ。
He really is a magnificent person.
千葉さん？
Chiba-san?
なんだ？
What?
死を目の前とか、それを超越とか、一体どんな勝負をしたんですか？
Facing death and transcending it. Just what kind of challenge was it? Which, yeah, the player might be wondering that too. Like, what is he talking about? Transcending death? What the hell were they doing?
まさか本気で果たし合いでもしたんじゃ。
No way. Were you seriously dueling?
それは言えない。
I'm not telling.
なんで？
Why?
貴様、自分に恥をかかせるつもりか？
You bastard. Are you trying to make myself embarrassed? So it probably wasn't anything that serious, but somehow Chiba was, defeated by something stupid. Is my guess. I mean, you never find out, but...
いえ、そんなつもりは。
No, that's not what I meant.
俺は軽い気持ちで聞いただけで、恥をかかせるとかそういうんじゃなくて。
I was just asking casually. I wasn't trying to make you embarrassed or anything. He's glaring at me. He's really glaring.
そうですよね。勝負の内容なんて何だっていいですよね。
That's right. It doesn't matter what the challenge was.
今はとにかくジョーカーさんがすごいってことが重要なんですよね。
Anyway, what's important now is that Joker-san is amazing.
分かればいい。
I'm glad you understand. That was scary. He was really serious just now. But what was the challenge that Chiba-san doesn't want to talk about? So that's a glance from Yuki.
なんだ
What?
なんでもないです。なんでも。
It's nothing, nothing. It's no good. If I asked, he'd kill me.
まあいい
Well, whatever.
とにかくジョーカー様は素晴らしい方だ
Anyway, Joker-sama is a magnificent person.
自分は尊敬いやそれを超えた畏怖の心を抱いている
My self-respect, no, it's beyond that. Myself is in awe of him.
自分など遠く及ばないその境地に一体どうすればたどり着けるのか
Just how should someone like myself reach that state which is beyond me?
日々鍛錬は重ねているがまだまだだ
I train and train every day, but there's still a ways to go.
だからジョーカーさんの部下になったんですか？
So that's why you decided to work for Joker-san?
ああ最初は弟子入りを申してたのだが断られた
Yeah, at first I proposed becoming his apprentice, but he refused.
だが部下ならばということで許していただいたのだ
But he allowed me to work for him.
なるほど。
I see. So we get another choice here. The first one is, but is that okay? Or, it's amazing you have someone you can respect so much. And again, if you've seen Joker's route, you know why he is such a fearless person. But if you're playing Chiba's first, or is the first one you're watching, it's a bit of a mystery, and you won't find out on Chiba's route. But you will find out, of course, about Chiba and why that lack of fear is so amazing to him. And we'll get into that kind of soon, actually. I think it's within the next couple days in game, so... actually, Chiba's route is kind of short, so I'll probably end up finishing that before I finish Arata. Just because Arata is so long, and Chiba's is pretty short for one of the characters who's not involved in the main plot. But it's a good story, it's a very good story, so don't think it's bad because it's short. Anyway, it's amazing you have someone you can respect so much. And that's just what he's thinking here. He challenged him seriously and lost, but recognized his opponent's strength and decided to work for him. I wonder what that's like.
どうした
What is it?
あ、すみません。話を聞いてたらなんか羨ましくなって。
Oh, sorry. Listening to you talk, I got kind of jealous.
何が
Of what?
自分が尊敬してる人の話で千葉さんみたいに夢中になったこと俺にはないから。
I don't have the experience of getting caught up like you, talking about a person I respect.
それってどんな気持ちなんだろうって思ったんです。
I was wondering what that felt like.
どうとは
What it felt like.
嬉しいとか楽しいとかあるのかなって。
Like, I wondered if I'd feel happiness or enjoyment.
わからない
I don't know.
尊敬は尊敬だ他の気持ちはない
Respect is respect. There's no other emotion.
そういうもんですか。
So that's how it is.
おう
Yeah.
だがそうだないつか追いつきたいと思う
But I think someday I want to catch up.
ジョーカーさんに
To Joker-san?
そうだ己を鍛錬しもっと強くなりいつかあの方に追いつきたい
I want to train myself becoming stronger and someday catch up to him.
願わくばいつか超えたいあの方に勝ちたい
I want to hopefully surpass him someday. I want to beat him.
そう思うと力が湧く
When I think about that, I get fired up. And I like his kind of soft smile here as he imagines this. Chiba's very cute.
力が
Fired up.
ここで立ち止まってはいられない自分はもっと強くならなくてはいけない
I can't stop here. Myself has to become stronger.
そのために今よりももっと鍛錬を積み重ねなければ
For that, I have to accumulate more training than I have now.
そういう気持ちになる
That's how it makes me feel.
ジョーカーさんを見てるとやる気が出るってこと？
Does that mean you feel determination when you look at Joker-san?
まあそんなところだ
Something like that.
いい関係ですね。
It's a nice relationship.
そうか
Really? Look at his cute little plushies.
それって尊敬して お互いを高め合ってるってことですよね。
It's that respect that makes you both improve.
最高の関係じゃないですか。
That's an awesome relationship, isn't it?
きっとジョーカーさんもそう思ってますよ。
I'm sure Joker-san thinks so too.
そうか？
Really?
まあ、なんだ。自分もそうであればいいと思ってはいるが。
Well, maybe. I hope he thinks so too. Chiba-san's embarrassed.
朝比奈、
So, Asahina?
はい。
Yes?
お前には尊敬できる相手はいないのか？
Don't you have anyone you can respect?
親とか尊敬してはいるけど。
So it's kind of Chiba's using that as a distraction from talking too much about himself and being embarrassed. But it's nice also to see him reaching out a little bit and trying to get some information from Yuki, because he hasn't really shown too much of an interest in asking questions. Yuki's been the one asking all the questions, pushing and poking and looking for meaning and things like that. So I think this may be the first time that Chiba's really reached out to him. And Yuki's saying, well, I respect my parents and stuff.
でも千葉さんがジョーカーさんを尊敬してるのとはちょっと違うような気がする。
But I feel like it's a little different from the way you respect Joker-san.
どこがだ？
In what way?
どこって。
In what way?
どこだろうな。
I wonder.
尊敬はしてるけど憧れてないとか。
I respect them, but I don't aspire to be like them. But maybe it's the same as Chiba-san, since I want to someday be good at baking bread like my father. You remember, his dad is the owner of a bakery. But it's different. But how is it different? The difference between the respect I have for my dad and the respect that Chiba-san has for Joker-san, is it that I don't get caught up like Chiba-san when I talk about my parents? And I think they have their good points, but they also have bad points. My dad is awesome as a baker, but he leaves his clothes everywhere, and he's always forgetting that he made plans with me. So that's an interesting little tidbit. We don't get to hear much about Yuki's family. We don't learn anything about his mother at all, ever. But this is one of the little tidbits of information about his dad. So his dad sounds like he's a bit of a mess, and, maybe makes promises to Yuki, makes plans with him, and then kind of forgets, spaces out a little bit. So just an interesting little bit of information that doesn't really come up anywhere else. Is it something like that? I feel like it's different.
千葉さん？
お前悪いやつじゃないな。
You're not a bad guy.
何ですかいきなり。
What's that all of a sudden?
俺が二人のこといい関係だって言ったから。
Because I said the two of you have a nice relationship?
そうじゃない。
That's not it.
他人の話を真剣に聞くやつに悪いやつはいない。
Guys who seriously listen to what others say aren't bad guys.
それに
And
飯も残さない。
you didn't leave any food.
すっごく美味しかったから。
Because it was really delicious.
そうか。
Yeah.
ここは辛味噌ラーメンもうまい。
The spicy miso ramen here is good too.
じゃあ次はそれにしよっと。
The next time I'll have that.
そうしろ。また連れてきてやる。
Do that. I'll bring you again.
やったー。
Woohoo.
ごちそうさま。
That was delicious.
またどうぞ。
Come again. So I like that. Somehow Yuki has passed some sort of test, and Chiba has decided he is no longer a threat. He's not a bad guy, and he's even willing to go out to eat with him again. So very different from the very beginning of the game, where he just automatically assumed he was an enemy and stay away from Joker-sama and all that stuff.
美味しかった。
That was delicious.
おごってもらっちゃってすみません。
I'm sorry you ended up treating me.
おう。
Yeah.
次は俺がおごりますよ。
Next time is my treat.
別にいい。
You don't have to.
ところでだな。
By the way,
何ですか？
what is it?
前に道場でお前の胴に入れたな。
In the dojo before, I hit you in the stomach. So if you remember that scene where, kind of way back where he went around on that first Sunday he had free at school and went to see Chiba, Chiba gets annoyed with him and whacks him, even if it doesn't hurt.
はい
And Yuki obviously doesn't remember this at all.
お前が学園に来たばかりの頃だ。休みの日に道場に見学に来て。
When you had just come to the school, you came to observe the dojo on a day off.
ああ思い出した
Oh, I remember.
あの時はびっくりしましたよいきなりだったから
You startled me that time because it was so sudden.
すまなかった。
I'm sorry.
あ
Oh, so that's kind of the last thing you would expect to hear from Chiba.
正直、八つ当たりだ。
Even though it was a ridiculous contest, you... Oh, sorry. Skipping ahead here. You're saying, honestly, I was venting my anger. Which you could see. I mean, for someone like Chiba, who normally seems pretty well in control of himself.
え
And Yuki's
く
like,
だらん
what?
勝負とはいえ、お前はジョーカー様に勝った。
Even though it was a ridiculous contest, you beat Joker-sama.
あ
しかも、あの後も含めると、二度もだ。
And including what happened later, it was twice. So he's talking about at the party, where they have the drawing straws or drawing sticks or whatever it was. And then afterward, the blackjack.
いやあれは運だから
No, that was due to luck.
運はお前の得意技だろう。
Luck is your specialty.
それで勝てば勝ちだ。
If you won because of that, that's a win.
悔しかった。
I was annoyed.
すみません
Sorry.
何を謝る？
What are you apologizing for?
勝ったんだから堂々とすればいい。
Since you won, you should be proud.
そうですか
Really?
いや、それも腹が立つな。
Well, that's annoying too.
千葉さんって正直ですよね
Chiba-san, you're so honest.
よく言われる。
Look who's talking.
でしょうね
Seriously. So yeah, these two are very similar in the honesty of their feelings. They're too simple to be complicated or deceptive.
とにかく、
Anyway,
いきなり撃ったことは謝る。
I'm sorry I suddenly attacked you.
そんなもういいですよ
Oh no, it's fine now.
それより敵じゃないって言ってもらえたのがすごく嬉しいです
And more importantly, I'm really happy you say I'm not an enemy.
そうか。お前は、ガッツがあるな。
You have guts.
そうですか
Really?
おう、
Yeah.
悪くない。
It's not bad,
でしょ
right?
調子に乗るな。
Don't get too carried away.
すみません
Sorry.
よーしそれじゃあまずはガッツで1回戦は乗り切るぞ
Alright, first I'll get through the first round of the Bell 1 with guts. And that's the end of the scene, so of course next will be the first round of the Bell 1. But I like that scene because it's the first time we really get to see Chiba actually talking about something and get to know some of his thoughts, because really when you play through the game on anybody else's route, he seems kind of shallow. I guess everybody does, really, because you don't get to go beyond the surface and what you just see that just anybody can observe. So this is the first time that they really talk to each other. And things will just continue to get more interesting as we go along here when we find out what is up with Chiba. Why is he the way he is? Why does he respect Joker? So we know, part of why he respects Joker, but we don't know the full story of, why would he feel that way? Why is it so important to not give in to fear and things like that? So, and this scene here, it's the end of the day. There's no, back in Yuki's room kind of scene for today. So that's it with June 4th, and next time we will pick up with June 6th in-game with the Bell 1. So I hope that was enjoyable, and I will see you next time. Thank you!